One thing that stood out to me when I listened to this song, probably for the first time in several years, which is true for a lot of these songs. I haven't been actively listening to the Beatles in a very long time. These early songs are surprisingly rough in both their lyrical content and their execution and production. I don't know, did you get any sense of that?
So last week when I first gave this a listen, I kind of thought that quite a bit.
So some examples that I noticed of weaker writing in the early Beatles is there's a really weak rhyme in She Loves You. There's I think it's the apologize to her line doesn't really rhyme. Not that things have to rhyme, but I don't know, when there's not a lot going on to the song anyway, you kind of tend to notice. What I noticed with I Want to
Interruption.
Yes.
So my favorite part about She Loves You is that at the very end of All You Need Is Love, they reference She Loves You. And that's my favorite part of She Loves You, where she's like, She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that part. That's like one of my favorite parts of All You Need Is Love. They were thinking about the love experience all the way back when they made Magical Mystery Tour.
They already knew they were building the musomatic universe of the Beatles. In I Want to Hold Your Hand, what I noticed was a lot of instances where John and Paul, they're singing harmony or they're singing
Hmm.
together, and one of them kind of forgets the words. There's the bit where they kind of change the lyrics up a little bit, and they're like, "You'll let me hold your hand," but when I think one of them comes in with I is gonna sing "I want to hold your hand," and the other one's singing "You'll," and you hear that mistake, and you hear that a couple of different times in the song, which studio time's expensive. Sometimes you just got to choose the best take and run with it, especially when you're a fairly new band as they were. But yeah, I found it really interesting that those flaws are still apparent there.
I will counter and say that a lot of Beatles, even this early stuff, is very functional. Like everything kind of works for me. I actually think like the Lennon McCarthy connection is already kind of set. We're just gonna grow from here. Like the parts where I get high, where you hear Paul in that part. I really like that part of the song.
Yeah, no, none of what I say is to say that it's a bad song.